Hey everybody, I'm Joe Ferzoco.
I'm Chris Ferzoco, and we are looking and discussing market statistics. We're going to look at the month of March versus the month of February. And we want to take a look at, really, Joe, we're going to look at the overall sales value of property. We want to look at the number of properties that sold, number of properties that came on the market. We're going to also take a look at the days on market and also the sale price versus the list price of these properties.
Like what you see, make sure you subscribe below, tap that bell for instant notifications, and please hit that like button so you'll be the first to get the most up-to-date market information, happenings down here at the Jersey Shore. I mean, we're rolling into the spring market now, Chris. We are doing March compared to February. So sun's out, no more snow. It's still a little breezy, but hey, we're trending in the right direction. It's getting warmer, and we hope to see you down here sooner than later down here at the Jersey Shore. And of course, it's our Jersey Shore. Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Ocean City, Somers Point, Sea Isle, Strathmere, Stone Harbor and Avalon, all the Wildwoods, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, West Wildwood, Cape May, North Cape May Courthouse, Upper Township. I mean, pretty much all of Cape May County we cover. And of course, you know, a little sprinkled in, a little bit of Atlantic County as well with Somers Point, Ventnor, Margate, Longport, and things to that nature. So as you've talked about, Chris, you're going to be looking at March versus February. And I always like to say too, folks, whether it's this week, next week, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, please reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email if you're looking to buy or sell, and we will make sure we'll get if you're looking to sell, we'll get a very focused market analysis on your neighborhood, the type of property that you have, that whether you are right in tune with what's going on with the market. And of course, with a buyer, we're going to make sure we're streamlining your criteria search, any price adjustments, status changes, new prices, new properties hitting the market. You're getting those ASAP, so you're not missing out on any deals right now hitting the market. So, Chris, why don't you get us started, though, with March versus February?
Yeah, and there is opportunity out there for the buyers, that's for sure, Joe. Yeah. Looking in Ocean City, that's where I'm going to start. Now, again, as we always like to say in every video as well, this contains everything that's on the multiple listing service. That's what we're talking about. So it could be a multifamily, single family, townhouse, condo. Doesn't matter if it's an efficiency, an oceanfront, beachfront, a lot, dirt, whatever. It's all going to be there. If it's on our multiple listing service, it's in these numbers. So in Ocean City, the overall value for property here from March over February, exactly the same. 1.33 million in February, same thing in the month of March. So no value changes right there, staying consistent. As the number of properties that actually sold, we actually did see, Joe, a 38% increase. So we went from 34 up to 47 in the month of March. That's a pretty significant jump considering the weather that we had over in the first 2 months of the year to actually see that. So actually a pretty significant jump there. We actually did see the number of properties that came on the market. There was also a 15% increase there. We had 106 in February. We jumped to 122 in the month of March. So real positive signs right there when you're seeing the number of solds go up and the number of listings coming on the market going up. The overall numbers right now for Ocean City is sitting around 297 as of shooting this video, which I can tell you right now is probably about 50 plus units than what was very consistent last year, around 240, 260, then it would drop back down. And it ping pong back and forth constantly. So seeing that 297, would be great to see us get up over that 300 mark again here in Ocean City. 98% overall sale price versus list price both months. And you were pretty much at the exact same. You had 60 days on the market versus 59 in February. So again, no real change there. Now, moving down the coast in the Sea Isle. We actually had, in your values, we actually saw a 27.5% decrease. Ouch. Interesting. 27.5%. You went from 1.91 million to 1.328. And in Seattle City, that is actually kind of a consistent up and down there, much like Cape May that you always kind of bring up. Seattle City has a lot of new construction that does kind of ping pong the numbers around a lot. So again, for this month of March, it dropped down dropped down to 1.3, 27.5%. Next month could be up 29%. Who knows? We'll see. We're going to find out. When you look at the number of properties that actually sold, virtually the same. You had 13 sell in March versus 12. Number of properties that came on the market, almost the exact same. Again, very consistent. 16 in March, 15 in February. So no real changes in that kind of dynamic. As for the overall sale price versus list price, both months were sitting at 96%. And you actually had an increase from 104 days on the market to 144 days on the market in the month of March.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, let's roll down the parkway a little bit, Chris. Let's get into the Wildwoods. And as I've said before, we've started to include West Wildwood, in the mix as well. So when we're looking in, let's start in North Wildwood right now. So your average sale price, March compared to February. So your average sale price was up 69%. 1.66 million was your average sale price in the month of March compared to 517,000. Much like Sea Isle, got some new constructions that are getting ready to come off the board. We did have 9 properties close in the month of March, and we had 9 in February. So no change there, but that was probably one of those. You get 1 or 2 of those closing, and now all of a sudden, you get this big disparity in your pricing. So number of properties that came on the market, that was down about 29%. We had 25 in the month of March. We had 35 in February. So a little bit of a decrease there in the amount of properties hitting the market. Your list price to sale price was right around 95, 96%. And of course, your days on market was 117 days in both months. Moving into Wildwood, your average sale price, this was down only 4%. It went from 673,000 in February to 643,000 in March. So not a big disparity there, but it was down. Number of properties that did come on the market, identical. We had 28 in March. We had 26 in February. Number of transactions, that did jump up 65%. We had 25 transactions, 25 sales in the month of March compared to 8 in February. And then when you look at your list price to sale price, again, kind of the same. It was 98.8 in March compared to 96. So you were getting a little bit more as far as your list price to sale price was concerned, more money in your pocket. Your days on market, sitting right around the same, 103 in March, 106 in February, so no real change there. Moving into Wildwood Crest. Wildwood Crest was the opposite of North Wildwood. So you had a 62% decrease in your average sale price in Wildwood Crest March compared to February. It was $527,000 in March compared to 1.37 in February. So the same analogy I gave for North Wildwood is the same analogy I'm going to give in Wildwood Crest. As far as the number of transactions, we had a spike. We had 12 deals, 12 transactions in the month of March compared to 5 in February. And of course, the number of listings that came on the market jumped up to 38. Which was about a 45% increase. So that's good. You've seen some product hitting the market in the month of March as we're rolling into the season. Your days on market was right around 100. So no real big change there. Your list price to sale price, that was a little bit of a change there. It was 96% in March compared to 93% in February. But of course, your average sale price was 1.37 in February, not 572. So which one would you want? And then of course, we're going into West Wildwood. When we look at the month of March, we actually had no transactions. So what I did was we have, currently there are 8 active listings in West Wildwood. 4 of them are single family homes. 2 of them are multifamily and 2 of them are condos. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's happening there, but we have not had, we didn't have anything February and March because the first quarter we had 1 transaction and that was actually January. So let's go into Cape May. We had a 60% decrease in your average sale price. Yes, in Cape May, again, much like Wildwood Crest and North Wildwood, your average sale price in Cape May in March was $874,000 compared to $2.17 in February. So a little bit of a change there. Number of transactions that jumped up, 20 or 67%. We had 6 transactions in March, only 2 in February. Number of properties that hit the market, big difference. We had only 3 hit the market in February. We had 17 homes, 17 properties come on the market in the month of March in Cape May. So again, big disparity as far as the inventory coming on, properties hitting the market there. Your list price to sale price right around 99%. Your days on market, there was a big difference here. The month of March was 133 days. The month of February it was 60. So we'll kind of see what that all means there. Is that new construction that was selling, not selling? It's tough to call when you have that big of a disparity when you're looking at the days on market. Finally, going into Sea Point Village, as far as the month of March, we had no transactions, no sales, no average sale price. We did have 3 properties hit the market. Of course, in the month of February, your average sale price was $870,000, and there was only 1 deal in the month of February. So not a lot going on really in Diamond Beach, Sea Point Village right now. Actually, Sea Point Village really, it's like a property hits the market. They never do. Every day you look at it, it's like no active listings in Sea Point Village, and it's pretty consistent a lot of times there.
Yeah.
So why don't you jump offshore a little bit for us, though?
Yeah, sure. So moving into the primary home market, Joe, and looking at Upper Township. In Upper Township right now, we're sitting at about 66 properties for sale, which is a pretty significant increase. We've been sitting right around 40 properties for sale for a while there. So we actually saw a decrease in your overall value by about 17%. We were at 542,000 in February, dropped to 448 here in the month of March. So it'll be interesting to see how the primary market starts to shape up, because there were some higher price sales that kind of came in. So we'll see how the numbers shake out here for April. When you look at the number of properties that actually sold, you had 8 sell in March versus 10 in February. So you had a slight decrease there. And the number of properties that came on the market, you actually saw a decrease of 16%. In February, you had 24 properties come on the market, and in the month of March, you had 20. And I know 16% sounds a lot more significant than just the number of 4, but it's interesting where in February, we had more homes come on the market where the weather was worse than the month of March. So I don't know, I'll figure that one out later. And then when you look at the overall sale price, the list price, 97% both months, and days on market sitting right now at about 84 days at Upper Township versus 69 in the month of February. Moving over into Summers Point. So in Summers Point, you actually had an increase by 12% in the overall values. You actually jumped from 533,000 to 599,000. So Summers Point, kind of hanging in that 500 price point. So that's great for you guys. You look at the number of properties that sold, we had a 27% increase. We had 11 in February versus 14 in the month of March. Okay. And the number of homes that came on the market, we actually had a huge increase of 126%. Real numbers, we went from 15 in February to 34 in March. So yes, even still, that's a huge jump. We doubled the number of listings in the month of March over February, which is great for Summers Point. That means you're gonna have inventory for the springtime. Because in your overall sale price versus list price, you're getting right now about 93%. It was 94% in February, but you're still sitting at 93%. And your days on market sitting just right around 67 days. We're in February sitting at 50. So I mean, 67 days is still quick.
Well, that's, you're looking at a month and a half, 2 months on the market there. So yeah, absolutely. All right, let's stick in a little bit of offshore per se. So North Cape May, your average sale price in the month of March was down 53%. Your average sale price was $538,000 in the month of March in North Cape May compared to 1.115. So again, you have a new construction, something up by the bay maybe closes, some of the bigger properties, that gives you that big window there. Yep. We'll kind of see what happens with April versus March and things like that, and kind of watch that, future pace that as we go. Number of transactions, we had 8 in March, we had 6 in February, not a big deal there. We had 14 properties hit the market in North Cape May in the month of March as opposed to 8 in February. So, yep, you doubled it, but that's not a lot of property hitting the market either. I mean, it's pretty much every other day you'll have a property hit the market in North Cape May from March compared to February. This price to sale price, 99%, both months, February and March. Your days on market was 97 in March, 101 in February, so no change there. Cape May Courthouse, you had a 17% decrease, and your average sale price dropped to $442,000 from $532 in February. Number of transactions, though, much like North Cape May, you had 9 in March, you had 10 in February, so no significant change there. Number of properties that hit the market, again, kind of doubled. You had 22 hit the market in March compared to 12 in February. So again, inventory is stacking a little bit there. They're not big numbers, but there's more inventory coming on than there was the month before. That's a plus. List price to sale price right around 94, 95%. Both months, no significant change. Days on market, 169 days in the month of March compared to 155 days in February. So no real change. No real big difference there. Again, sticking within like that 2-week window that we kind of see for an average for most of the towns here. So that's going to be February versus March, March versus February, however you want to, apples to apples and things like that, and however you want to read that there. What are you kind of seeing with that, Chris?
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of decreases in the overall values from March to February, and we have discussed this, that we're seeing a very consistent amount of price adjustments every single day. So that's significant. The good news is we are seeing inventory, as you mentioned. So even if it's a drop in the number of listings that came on the market, we're still seeing more inventory come on right now, I would say across the board, than what has sold in the month, in that month prior too, right? So I think that's a positive. Again, you said it, they're not big numbers, but there's a little bit of stacking going on in some of these towns that we're starting to see there, which is great for the spring market. Again, it's the spring market, so this little stacking that we have going on can disappear real quick, right? So that's something to be wary of. If you're a buyer, you have to be aware of like, okay, that doesn't mean all of a sudden you're gonna have a plethora of properties to choose from.
Sure.
If it meets your needs and it's something that you like, meets your needs and the location that you want, I would advise you be jumping on that property.
Absolutely.
And not risking waiting for the next one to come along.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say that the picture is actually pretty positive, Joe, and I wouldn't say there's any real surprises. I mean, the overall sale price to list price, we're still in the mid-90s. Yep. Right? So, the values are still there. The values are still remaining pretty high in all these areas. We're going to watch to see if they continue this downward trend. That'll be interesting to see when you get April versus March, and you're really in the flux of the spring market to see what's happening at that point.
And I think that's like, you nailed that, Chris, where what does April to March looks like? Because that does sort of wash out that, well, new construction sold this month, so now all of a sudden my price that month was skyrocketed compared to the month before. With the idea that it's the spring market, that sort of kind of gets diluted because you have a new construction sell, but then you do have some other listings that were pre-sales and all that kind of stuff that do close. So those kind of do balance themselves out a little bit there. So that'll be real curious to see when it comes to the pricing, what we're seeing. Because right now, like when I look at any of the Wildwoods and all that kind of stuff, one town's 54% increase, one town's a 61% decrease. It's like it's all over the place. So
we saw that last year. That last year. If you go back and watch the videos, I mean, like you take Cape May for example. Cape May goes from 800,000 to 1.4 to 2.2 to 800,000. And Seattle was doing a lot of the same. And those were the two primaries where you'd see that significant. Upper Township as a primary home market was the same way. It would be 900. 500, it's like, and then the next month it was back to 850. So the numbers are definitely bouncing all over the place. I think what we really want to focus on, and I think for buyers and sellers out there that are watching these videos about, okay, so what do all these numbers mean to me? Well, what it means is that you're seeing consistency in the price, so that's a positive for sellers. You're really not seeing your values drop. Because when you're seeing these values dropping, you could argue that it's because the price adjustments are pushing the values down. Okay, because people are shooting for the moon and now they have to adjust to the market. Okay,
which is still up.
Which is still up. Yep. So then when you start looking at that, you start saying, okay, so for as a seller, the values are still up, you're still getting good value, and there's still buyers buying property. And for the buyers out there, there's still inventory, and there's great opportunity. And at the shooting of this video, hell, we're only 60 days out of Memorial Day right now. So, I mean, there's opportunity, there's property out there, and the timing is right. So
100%.
Now's the time.
And if you want to have something a little bit more specific for your property, if you're thinking of selling, reach out, give Chris or myself a call. We can certainly sit down with you and go over a very specific market analysis for your style property, your type of property, your area, your location, and of course, if you're a buyer, a very specific criteria for your search so that you're getting the most up-to-date market information, new homes, price adjustments, status changes, etc. So that's going to wrap up this video here, Chris. That was March 2026 compared to February 2026. He's Chris, I'm Joe. Until next time, see you at the beach.